frame the market by making the logical structure in trading. To orient yourself in trading, like to pick if you have to go for buys or go for sales, you need to have a frame from which you work in, and a logical structure. Let us say that there is a car here. There is a car that costs 10 million francs CFA at the beginning. 10 million francs CFA is roughly $17,000. And when it got expensive, the price rised up to 12 million francs CFA, 12 million francs CFA, right? And 12 million francs CFA is roughly $21,000. So basically what we have here is something like this. The price axis, yeah, the price axis, and then here the timeline, the date, the time. So at this point, we had 10 million. So the price of the car was like 10 million here, and then it rised up to 12 million at this point, 12 million at this level. So when it started going down, like this till it came back to the previous price. So the car got cheaper again. So at this price, when it came back to the cheapest price, it was at 10 million. So this one is a zone of what? A zone of cheap prices, right? For this car, of cheap prices. That's what we need first, because every buyer like to buy cheaper. No buyer like to buy things expensive. I mean, wise buyers. So then we have here above here a zone also, but a zone of what? A zone of expensive prices, right? We had here a zone of expensive prices. So then when the price comes in at this point, it will tap in this zone of 10 million. But you know that there is a price where a car cannot cost lower than its cheapest price. Like you cannot come and buy this car at 9 million francs CFA. No seller will give you that car at 9 million or at 8 million, because they will not make any profit. They will not even pay bills. So this is the cheapest of the cheapest price. So arriving at this price, buyers remember that no seller will want to sell cheaper than 10 million. So the price start to go up. So there is something that happened here. A zone of cheap price give birth to what we call the direction directly. So what I'm trying to mean is that, right, to have a great market structure, to frame the market very well, we need one, first of all, as you see, zones, right? Zone of cheap price. There's only two zones. There are only two zones, zone of expensive prices and zone of cheap prices. There's no more than that, because the screen is only 2D, rather up, rather down. So there's no oblique or depth prices. So then the zone itself give birth to the direction automatically. It's for example, as you see, if you see a woman give birth to child. You cannot see a man and say that this man can give birth to child. No man can give birth to child, right? To babies. No man can do that. Only women can do that. So zones have this ability, like women, to give birth to the direction. So when you look for a direction, you need to first of all plot zones. Zones will give you the direction automatically. That's their nature. That's in their genes. That's how it is built in the trading chart. So for a great market structure, you need first of all zones. Then the zones will give you directly the direction. So you need the direction. If you need the direction and you don't plot zones, it means that you didn't understand something about the chart, because the direction doesn't come alone. A baby cannot born out of thin air. A baby only born from mothers, so from women. So that's what we have here, zones. Zone give birth to direction. And then as soon as the price hit 10 million, you will see a lot of buyer coming on at this price, starting to try to buy the car at that point. But at a certain level, there are buyers who will not want to buy more than 11 million, because at this point it will be 11 million. And the price will start going down. At this point, I will call it A plus setup. So this box is an A plus setup. It's like an intermediary zones in between those two big zones. And then the price will go up again and then come back to that point of 11 million. Because there are sellers who will say that I will not buy less than 10 million and 5,000. And then the price will go up again and then reach 11 million again. And then till it arrives at the 12 million zone of highest expensive price as previously. So what I'm trying to mean is that between those two zones, there are something that are called A plus setups. A plus setups often appears in between two big zones, because the price direction is saying that from the cheaper price where we are now, we need to go till the most expensive price. And we know that. But while going there to the most expensive price, people will start arguing with the 11 million price. I don't want to buy 11 million price this car. Please reduce the price again. There are some sellers who will start reducing. There are some who will say that, no, stop it here. I don't want to reduce this price more than this. Let me increase my price, because actually I hire a new employee. I cannot pay his salary if I reduce the price. So let me increase the price to 11 million again. Then buyers will realize that this price cannot go lower than 11 million again. That's when they will start entering at this 11 million price till maximum nobody will buy again at 12 million. That's how the price of this car will start fluctuate in the market. So number three, we need then A plus setups. We need to know A plus setup in between those two zones to keep buying in between those two zones. So and A plus setup is also a place where if you bought here and you can withdraw your money at this point as a trader. So there is also a hidden property of this psychological mechanisms of buying and selling cars that are called the length. We know already by how many pips or how many dollars, how many francs CFA the price will rise. We know that from 10 million to 12 million, it is an increase of 2 million. We know it. So I call it the length. When you do a market structure and then you don't have the length from which your price, and then you have the length from which the price will rise up, then that's when you know that you master the frame of the market. That's the logical. The logic must have the length from which the price will rise up. And even this A plus setup give length. Like from this A plus setup to here is 1 million different, because this one was 11 million. That's 1 million different between 1 million and between 11 million and 12 million. It is just 1 million difference, right? So you know by how many by which size the price will rise up. We know it. We all know it. So that's then what we will be using to actually frame the market before starting trading. This is the part of the analysis that is very important. So we work on that. Let me just take a screenshot of this. Let me take a screenshot of this, and then let me take a screenshot of this. Let me call it frame. Okay. And then I'll post it in the group, and then we will start working with it.